Welcome back, tribe. Today's episode is, I think I'm just going to title it Why Good Men Keep Choosing Broken Women. I get a lot of emails about guys that get into relationships and it always seems to end the same way, or they seem to pick a certain kind of woman that obviously is not good for them. And just kind of had a thought of like, do you ever wonder, or has anybody ever wondered why they keep ending up with, like the same kind of woman in different packaging, essentially? A lot of these guys are the good men that I was talking about. The guys who have their shit together in like every area of life, they keep falling into this trap. It's not like they're bums. It's not like, maybe they're inexperienced or whatever. These are guys that are actively dating, but seem to be making similar mistakes all the time. And they crush it at work. They have the respect of their community. They have solid friendships, but their relationship life feels like a bad Netflix series. They're attracting broken women like magnets, dude, playing therapists to emotional vampires, or they end up with partners who turn their strength into their prison. Most dating advice misses the whole point. They push these surface fixes, like better game, bigger muscles, fatter bank account, as if somehow your net worth will fix your network of toxic relationships. And you've seen these guys, they're stacked in every area of life, but trapped in relationships that look more like hostage situations than love stories. And you're not choosing these women. Your wounds are. That's the crazy part. These unhealed parts of yourself are doing the picking, swiping right on anyone who feels like home, even if it wasn't always a healthy place. And what's wild is the stronger you are on the outside, the easier it is to miss what's happening on the inside. You see, you're wired to fix things, solve problems, be everyone's rock. We know this as men. So when you meet someone who needs fixing, something in you naturally as a man awakens. Finally, it's a problem that you could solve, a person you can save, a way to prove your worth of what you can provide. But that's not real love. That's just a rescue mission. And rescue missions in relationships are like trying to fill a black hole. It's your strength matching their weakness. Your need to fix, matching their need to be fixed. It's toxic. Think about all your past relationships. The women who started strong but became dependent. The ones who pushed your boundaries until exhaustion. This isn't about blame either. It's about understanding that what we call attraction often isn't about love. It's about familiarity. If you grew up with chaos, chaos feels like home. If you learn that love means taking care of someone, you'll be drawn to people that need taking care of. Do you understand? If you were taught that love must be earned through performance, you'll find partners who make you perform for their affection. Think about it deeply, seriously. And the most dangerous part of this is when you're strong in other areas of life, that same strength keeps you in unhealthy relationships longer than you should be. You can handle more stress, endure more drama, push through more red flags. Your resilience, usually your greatest asset, becomes the very thing keeping you stuck. And breaking this cycle means getting brutally honest about what love actually feels like. Most guys are running on a corrupted definition that they picked up somewhere between childhood trauma and their last toxic relationship. They're chasing intensity over intimacy, drama over depth, familiar pain over unfamiliar growth. That passion you felt in your most volatile relationships, it wasn't chemistry, bro. It was anxiety wearing a mask. The instant deep connection was just matching wounds, recognizing each other. Real love doesn't feel like a drug, and it doesn't hijack your thoughts at 3 a.m. or make your stomach drop with every notification. Good men often mistake being needed for being valued. When someone depends on you completely, financially, emotionally, physically, it strokes the ego. Your strength becomes their safety net, your stability, their foundation. But that's not partnership, it's dependence. It might feed your ego, but it'll drain your soul. And these relationships follow a script. It starts with worship. You're their redemption story. They're finally a good man. Then comes the drain, the slow drain. Their problems become your responsibility, their chaos, your burden to carry. By the time the emptiness hits, you're too invested to walk away clean. You know what authentic love feels like? Peace. Not the stagnant kind, but the type that lets you breathe fully for the first time in years. Someone who matches your energy instead of depleting it, adds to your life instead of subtracting from it. And then they see your strength, but they can stand on their own, not being codependent. But when peace feels flat, you're addicted to chaos. Growth feels slow when you're used to emotional hurricanes. Healthy boundaries feel restrictive when you're used to people who crash through them. This is why guys bounce from healthy relationships back to toxic ones. The healthy ones don't provide the familiar shot of drama they've mistaken for passion. Check your phone. There's probably at least one number you shouldn't call, but keep anyway. Someone who represents everything you're trying to leave behind, but feels like everything you want in your weaker moments. Delete it. That's not your future calling. It's your past trying to maintain its grip. Your strength shouldn't be your cage, and your ability to handle chaos shouldn't be an open invitation for more, man. Your capacity to provide shouldn't be a beacon for those looking for a provider. True partnership isn't about carrying somebody. It's about walking together, each person whole on their own, choosing to build something greater. And flip this script. Stop asking what you can give in a relationship and start asking what you actually want, not what you can handle, what fulfills you, not what feels exciting, what feels right, and not what your wounded self gravitates toward, what your highest self knows you deserve. Breaking these patterns isn't about becoming cold or selfish. It's about upgrading your operating system. You have to understand that strength isn't measured by how much weight you can carry, but by knowing what isn't yours to carry in the first place. The warning signs show up early. Someone trauma dumping on that first date isn't being vulnerable. They're testing your savior complex. And a person who calls all their exes trash is showing you how they handle endings. Someone love bombing you with a soulmate talk 2 weeks in is telling you they don't know how to build something real. And good men often mistake their tolerance for wisdom. You spot the red flags but think, I'm different, I can handle this. That's ego talking, not insight. Your ability to endure problems shouldn't be your criteria for letting them into your life. Broken recognizes broken. If you're consistently drawing in women who need saving, who can't stand alone, that's feedback about your own healing, not just their damage. Healthy people aren't magnetized to dysfunction, guys. Your attractions point to what needs attention within you. And it's time to get uncomfortable with the truth. Why does neediness light you up like love? Why does emotional instability feel more real than stability? Why does being someone's entire world feel like victory instead of warning? These aren't preferences, they're patterns pointing to what needs healing. Learn to spot the difference between intensity and intimacy. Intensity hits fast, that instant spark, that urgent need to merge lives immediately. Intimacy builds slow. It grows through consistent actions, through seeing and being seen clearly, through time and trust earned step by step. Watch for false chemistry traps. That instant click where everything feels meant to be, sometimes it's not destiny, it's just recognition. Real connection isn't finding someone who needs your strength. It's finding someone who brings their own. Someone who's fought their battles, built their life, done their work. It's someone who multiplies your peace instead of dividing it. This means embracing what good men often resist, letting things unfold slowly. No rushing in to save anyone. No getting hooked on potential. No overriding red flags because you can take it. Start valuing steady growth over quick intensity. Transforming your relationship patterns means rebuilding your attraction filters from the ground up. The women who light up your warning signs shouldn't light up your interest. That chaos that feels like home, it's just familiar poison. Real growth happens when you start craving stability over stories. This transition challenges good men because need and value got tangled somewhere along the way. When you've built your identity on being the reliable one, the provider, the fixer, it feels strange to be with someone who doesn't need fixing. It feels empty when there's no crisis to solve, and it feels purposeless when there's no one to save. That emptiness is your growing space. This is authentic love. Two complete people choosing each other, not two broken halves needing each other. Mutual growth, not mutual dependence. Shared strength, building something new together, not fixing each other's past. Your strength exists to advance your purpose, not compensate for someone else's lack of growth. And your capacity for handling storms is meant to protect your peace, not enable someone else's chaos. Your resources as well should build your future, not subsidize someone else's stuck present. Men who break these patterns discover something rare. It's a connection that builds instead of draining you with real passion for growth, not fucking trauma everywhere. Your worth isn't measured by how many burdens you can carry, boys, or how many people you can rescue. True power lies in knowing which battles are yours to fight and which aren't real. Knowing to walk away and when, and avoiding all the dysfunction altogether. What you're seeking isn't found in someone else. It's built in the choices you make about what you'll accept and what you won't. It lives in those boundaries you set and maintain. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Definitely hits on some points, some mistakes a lot of men tend to make in dating. I've made them as well. We all carry some trauma. You kind of know how it works. Even though you're doing well in other aspects of your life, you still carry some of this stuff with you. And you're blinded when another person comes into your life. And some of the things you thought you fixed start bubbling up to the surface. Everybody has a need for connection, a need for intimacy. And unfortunately, most of us go looking for it in the wrong person without even knowing. Hopefully this sheds some light on that. And if you like today's episode, let me know in the comments below. As usual, boys, appreciate you tuning in. Shout outs to everybody in the private community. Excited for our calls today, as well as those doing the private consults. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone.